Anniversaries are supposed to be about love, about celebrating the bond you've built through years of marriage. For me, our 10th wedding anniversary was supposed to be the happiest getaway of our lives. Instead, it turned into a mystery that tested everything I thought I knew about my husband. My name is Rachel. I'm 38, and I live in Ohio. My husband, James, and I had been together for over a decade. We'd been through ups and downs, raised 2 kids, and built a life that felt solid. So when he surprised me with a trip to the mountains for our anniversary, I was thrilled. We drove up to this beautiful resort lodge, stone fireplaces, snowy peaks outside, twinkling fairy lights around the balconies. It looked like something out of a Hallmark movie. I remember thinking, this is perfect, exactly what we need. But when we got to the front desk to check in, something strange happened. James leaned over the counter and whispered to the receptionist. A moment later, she handed him 2 separate room keys. I froze. 2 rooms? Honey? I asked, trying to sound casual. Why do we need 2 rooms? James chuckled nervously. Oh, it's just, I thought it might be fun to give each other a little space. You know, relax, have some time alone, then meet up. I forced a smile, but inside, alarm bells were ringing. 10 years of marriage, and now suddenly he wanted space. On our anniversary? It didn't make sense. That night, he walked me to my room, kissed my forehead, and said, "Sweet dreams. I'll see you in the morning." I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. What was he hiding? The next morning, he acted normal. We went hiking, drank hot cocoa, even laughed together. But every night, he disappeared into his own room, locking the door. And every night, my suspicion grew stronger. By the 3rd night, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers, so while he was in the shower, I snuck into his room with the spare key. My hands shook as I opened the door. The room looked ordinary. Suitcase, clothes, toiletries. Nothing unusual. But then I noticed a black duffel bag tucked under the bed. I pulled it out, unzipped it, and gasped. Inside were dozens of envelopes, each one stuffed with photographs, letters, and receipts. My breath caught as I flipped through them. They weren't love letters. They weren't proof of an affair. They were donations. Records of money James had been quietly giving away. Thousands of dollars. And the photographs? They were of children. Children I didn't recognize. Children in hospitals holding stuffed animals, smiling despite for tubes and bandages. My eyes blurred with tears as I realized James had been secretly sponsoring sick kids through a charity. For years, he had been visiting them, paying their bills, sending them gifts. And he hadn't told me because he didn't want credit. He didn't want praise. He wanted to do it quietly, without anyone knowing. I sat on the bed, clutching the letters, my heart aching. All the suspicion, all the doubt, it melted away in an instant. That night, when James came back, I confronted him. But not with anger, with tears. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered, holding up one of the envelopes. His face fell. "Rachel, I didn't want you to feel like I was hiding something, but I also didn't want you to think I was doing this for attention. I met a kid at the hospital years ago when I was volunteering. I couldn't stop thinking about him. And then I met another, and another. Before I knew it, I was helping more families. I just didn't want to burden you." I broke down crying. I hugged him tighter than I ever had before. "James," I said, "you could never burden me with kindness. You should have trusted me to stand by your side." For the rest of the trip, we didn't stay in separate rooms anymore. We stayed together, holding each other, talking late into the night. And for the first time in years, I felt like I truly saw the man I married. Our anniversary trip didn't go how I expected, but in some strange way, it was better. Because instead of just celebrating our marriage, I discovered the depth of my husband's heart. And now, every time I look at him, I don't just see my husband. I see the man who chooses love not just for me, but for children who need it most. And that, to me, is the greatest gift of all.